Bienvenue sur 23 plus 1 podcast, le podcast spécialisé en marketing, communication et vente. Que des entrevues percutantes pour inspirer et motiver. Reste branché. Hi everyone, welcome to 23 plus 1 podcast, your podcast for inspiration and motivation. My name is Max, your co-host with my man Jeff.
Max, always a pleasure. I think we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. So can't wait to share with our guest tonight.
Excellent. Great. Well, it's time to introduce our guest, Dale Williams. He's a marketing expert with extensive experience in retail, sports, fashion. Dale, thanks for joining us.
I'm awesome. Thank you guys for having me. I hope all is well during this uncharted territory that we're all facing. But you know what? I can't complain. Things are good. Still working. The girls are healthy, and I can't complain.
Excellent.
Thanks for being here with us.
I appreciate it. It's when you guys reached out, I was really excited about doing this, and it's nice to have the opportunity to talk a bit about my experience, and if that can help some people down the road, then you know what, I'm all for it.
Well, thanks a lot, Dale. Well, we all want to know more about Dale, so I got a question for you. Tell me about yourself.
Oh boy, that's a long time. I don't know if we have enough time in the podcast for that.
I'll cut you off if ever I need to.
Perfect. So I guess a little bit about me. I'm a marketing manager with RW&CO. Been there for 3 years, but over 15 plus years in marketing. Proud father of 2 beautiful girls, husband to 1 loving wife. Marketing is definitely my passion. That's what I've done most of my life, what I'm familiar with. But on the personal side, you always have to have a side hustle. So on the side hustle, I'm a DJ. Very big love for music.
Nice.
So that's that is my yoga time, is being able to put some records on the turntables and just chill out and enjoy music. And it brings me back to my safe space. So yeah, that's me on a personal note. There's a lot more, but that's pretty much the gist of it.
And you just said DJ. What kind of music?
You know what? Growing up, my family listened to everything. When I think about it, my uncles were big time old school calypso house party DJs back in the day when I was 5, 6, 7 years old. So it runs in the family. I didn't really start taking it up a little bit more seriously till about maybe 8 years ago. But for me, it's R&B. It's old school R&B, it's funk, soul, hip hop, pretty much everything except for probably classic rock. That's probably the one where I draw the line.
Okay, so what is your go-to song? People want to have fun. You want to
go-to song?
People want to, groove, because I know when I hear R&B and you got to move. So what's your go-to?
Man. My go-to, so if we're dancing and I want to get the crowd going,
yes.
Oh boy, then it's going to have to be hip hop, and I'm going to say All I Do Is Win by DJ Khaled. There's just something about that chorus that everyone feeds their energy into, and when he says hands up, it's time for everyone to go. So yeah, that would probably be that's definitely one of my top 3 go-to songs to get the crowd going for sure.
Excellent, Dale. Excellent. And what was your plan when you were a kid?
The plan was to be a professional athlete and make millions and millions of dollars.
Wow.
And, retire at the age of 30. I mean, let's be honest. I wasn't thinking about retiring when I was a kid, but I was definitely thinking about being a professional athlete for sure.
From how far did you get or how close did you get from your dream?
So I played high school basketball all the way, and then I played football as well. Basketball was actually my first sport. So I made it all the way to, I guess, what you guys would in Quebec call, or in Ontario, grade 13 cégep. I played 2 years at a small French junior college in Manitoba, Collège Universitaire Saint-Boniface, and I played there for 2 years.
You mentioned earlier 15 years experience. You're an expert in fashion, sport, retail. But to get there, how did you manage to get there today?
To be 100% honest with you, it was hard work, obviously, but there was definitely a bit of luck involved in it. How I started on the path, I remember the days when I worked at Champ Sports in Winnipeg. I'm originally from Winnipeg, Manitoba, and I remember, working at Champ Sports and becoming a very big sneakerhead. Like, I loved runners. I had a lot of runners. I probably had too many pairs of runners. Wow. But that's what I loved. I loved being a sneakerhead. And as things progressed, I worked as a summer university student for Molson, and I'll never forget that they had made a decision to do some different things, and I was actually asked to handle a tour with the NBA. So I was able to work with NBA Canada for one full summer, where we worked on the Dribble and Drive tour, which essentially was we would basically get in a black F-350 with a 24-foot horse trailer, and we drove from Toronto to Vancouver and back across Canada. So I've been able to see the whole country, by car, which is unreal. It shows what a beautiful country we have. I definitely hated driving down the hills in Vancouver with no rails, so that was definitely scary. So really it evolved from there. So I spent time and then I was fortunate enough that I had met some people from Reebok Canada, as they were one of our sponsors for the tour, and able to meet the Eastern Canadian sales manager, Elaine Ratcliffe at the time, and had a great discussion. Nothing really ever came about it. And then I went back home to Winnipeg, and then one day I got a phone call, and they said, "Hey, we'd like to offer you a job. Are you interested?" I said, "Sure. You'd have to move to Montreal." Sign me up. How does that work? I'm 22. I will go to Montreal for sure. So essentially, I remember getting to flying to Calgary, doing an interview, then essentially getting the job on the spot. And then little did we know that was in October. By January, I was fully moved to Montreal to start a new life at 22 years of age, with a big time shoe company, which was my ultimate dream, because what's the best next thing about not being a professional athlete is that you get to work in footwear, you get to work in apparel with athletes. And on top of that, I got to, accumulate more shoes down the road.
I totally know the feeling with the sneakerhead, and I think we have the same passion regarding that on that part.
Absolutely.
And from there, so that was your real big shot into the retail sport industry, and from there, where did you go after that?
So this is one of those rare things, but I spent almost 9 years with Reebok. Started as a tech rep, going to Sport Experts and doing footwear clinics, to kind of climbing that ladder to just marketing, and then being able to take over the sports marketing, a sports marketing coordinator, and then essentially getting to the last position I held there, which was sports marketing manager, where I took care of athlete marketing, football and basketball for all of Canada. So it was a great experience. It was one of those first things where you have those talks where it's like, you got to grind, you got to do all these things to get to that. But, the fun part about it is that I did grind, and I was able to not just stay at that bottom rung, right? Yeah. To be able to progress and get back up to where I was. And, biggest part for me was, handling of the CFL, and, part of my responsibility at Reebok was really working with that league and the athlete to work with them, making sure that our partnership was tight. So, as I mentioned before, I'd been there for almost 9 years. And then after I left, which was definitely hard, I got to achieve another goal that I wanted to, and that was work for a professional sports team. So I was fortunate enough that I moved on to the Montreal Alouettes and spent 3 years there as a retail marketing director. So that was a very big challenge because, they had retail partners at the time, and they decided that they wanted to, bring it back in-house. And it's a task that I never want to do again. But
Why?
Okay, so now you put yourself on the spot.
You know what? And I say I don't want to do it again, but what I learned has helped me continue in this journey. We had to start a business from scratch. I remember I started, middle of May. We were 4 weeks from preseason. And within 4 weeks, I had to get $2 million worth of inventory, find a warehouse, separate it all, put together a POS system, set it up at the stadium for our first preseason game, hire over 20 staff, train them, and just to get ready, up and running so that we were ready for the season. So when I say I never want to do that again, I don't want to do that again, but everything that we went through was awesome because it was a real learning experience. It was an opportunity for me to have autonomy and run things the way that I felt should be run. And it was a great experience. 100%. I'll never forget that one because it really built me into, kind of who I've evolved into today.
That's amazing. And I feel, and we do feel it the way you talk about it, that it kind of forged you in your journey of where you are at today. No,
for sure. And after leaving the Alouettes, it was very tough. For those who know me, I'm a very open book. I don't shy away from things. Essentially, my tenure with the Alouettes didn't end the way that I wanted it to end. There was a shift in leadership, and, essentially I was let go. Like, that was it. It was, thank you for your services. See you later. It was very tough. Absolutely. And I think that when I say I've evolved into the person I am today because of that experience, no one ever essentially, thinks they'll ever get let go, or let's call it what it is, get fired.
No.
No one ever thinks that way, that, but when you get fired, it doesn't necessarily have to be what you did or what someone else did. It has to be what the circumstances were. And, people always ask, ill will, no, not at all. Like, this was a opportunity to reinvent myself.
Right.
And, I took some time off. I had just had a second child, and, I was playing Mr. Mom. I was at home all day. My wife was at work. I was at home. I was making sure that the baby was okay, making sure dinner was ready for my wife. But again, it was an evolution, and it actually made me even more appreciative of my wife because of everything that she used to do. Right. So, I did that. And then, I went into the way of digital, because we all know how big digital is now. And I felt that I had to open up the portfolio. So I spent about 6 or 7 months as a consultant for an augmented reality company. It was a startup. It was okay. Wasn't really my thing, but it was good. We made some inroads. We had some really good opportunities that we were able to capitalize on. And then, again, left there. And then I did some consulting. I think that was what really helped me continue to learn about different parts of business, and to be able to take all of that and see where this winding road of not knowing was going to take me. So after I left there, I then decided to take a job with a local manufacturer of uniforms in Montreal. So, I took that job and, again, rebuilt their website, started their social media, which was just starting really to get big at that time. And again, I wasn't an expert in it, but it was either sink or swim. So I had to spend the time learning about it, try and get the basics down, because within marketing, if you're not up on the trends, you're gonna sink. So prior to that, then took a job, which led me to Brantford, Ontario, of all places. And for those who don't know where Brantford is, it's 45 minutes south of Toronto. It's from where Wayne Gretzky's from.
Okay. it's a well place to. It's a nice way to showcase a place. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
They must be very proud.
Yeah, I'm sure they are. So I worked with a family company who did manufacturing of university apparel as well as uniforms, and I took a position there of director in marketing sales. Again, family company, very, very successful, but wanted to take it to the next step. And again, unbelievable opportunity for me. It was very tough because I essentially lived in Brantford for 5 days a week, flew home Friday night, hung out with the family for a weekend, left Monday, and did that for a full year. So
how was the experience on the family as a new evolved father, super involved with the kids and the wife? Like, how did you manage?
It was hard. It was definitely hard. But again, I thank technology, right? You know, the FaceTime. It's never fun to not be able to, hold your little one every night. Yeah. But that's what made the weekends so much better, because it was just about my family. It wasn't about date night or going out with the boys or anything like that. It was coming home and spending a solid, 3 days with my girls, and then, going off. And I think I'm fortunate that I did it while they were young, because, they're still trying to get their footing as kids. So the fact that I was able to do that at that point in my life would have been better than if I had to do it now. Because they're 7 and 4. My 7-year-old now is starting to do activities and play basketball. And I wouldn't be able to handle being away a full week, all the time. So it was good. And, we had really good success, working there. We broke some numbers. We had a nice, increase over last year. And, I hope that was because of the effort that I put in to help, build up that business. And then, I'm here where I am now. I came back from that contract and saw a position at RW&CO. Wasn't too sure. I was like, okay, it's men's. I'm a guy. I think I can do this. And, applied, had a great interview. And, now we're here, and I'm still here. So that's kind of that journey. I'm probably talked way too long giving you that journey.
Congratulations. And with your extensive experience in retail, sports, and fashion, I guess you do have some success stories that you want to share with us today.
Yeah, I think one of the fun parts about being in men's fashion now is it's constantly evolving. It was very tough at the start, because I'm an athlete. I was a sports marketing guy, so I'm dealing with athletes. You're not really dealing with fashion. You're dealing with sneakers, sweatpants, hoodies. You're dealing with that stuff. Now I'm going to chinos, dress pants, suits, ties, hanger, and real fashion. But the one thing that I do know a win for me was being able to take everything that I've learned as a marketer and just apply it to a different application. Mm-hmm. Whether you're doing sports marketing or fashion, you still have those niche traits that you bring to the table that you can transfer. So for me, that was a huge win for me to be able to evolve from sports to fashion without too much of a hiccup. It was really just learning fashion. It was learning trends. It was spending time with, my current colleagues to understand how it works. But when it came down to the execution part, it didn't change. It's the same thing, different application.
I like there's several things you mentioned earlier about you seem, and we see when you feel with the energy you have, you're a very passionate person. Either with your kids, with your work, with your family, you enjoy, you embrace every moment. You mentioned earlier your love for music. Obviously, your love for basketball. What are the other things you do a part of that passion-wise?
You know what? If I had to say what my passion is, there's a lot of them to be transparent. But I think if I had to sum it up in one, people. I'm very passionate about people. Being able to sit down with someone and have a discussion that you may not agree upon, but be able to listen to someone else's views and have that collaboration. I always try to consider myself a big team player. At work, I try to create, an environment of where we're all together in this. When you see a marketing campaign from RW&CO, it's not just marketing. It's our merchandise group. It is our creative group that makes everything look amazing. It is the content team that we work with that builds our content. It's our social media. So I can't take credit for all the strategies and the campaigns because it's literally the biggest collaborative effort I've ever been a part of in my whole professional career. So the reason I feel that I enjoy my job so much is because I get to work with so many different people from so many walks of life. So I am passionate about people and getting to know them, maybe to a fault where it's like, maybe it's a little too much now. We work together 8 hours. We don't need to go hang out for another 5. But for me, it's important. And I think that especially in this climate right now that we're currently in, and we're knowing what's going on down south and all the tension down there, all the tension up here in Canada, COVID has kicked us in the mouth. And I think the one thing that I've learned is people have so many different views. So take the time to talk to people who, one, want to listen.
Of course.
Don't spend the time with those who you're never going to change your mind, because you're just going to kill yourself. And that's probably the wrong choice of words that I just used there, but you're going to get frustrated. Yeah. But try and have those discussions with people that you never talked to before. We're in unprecedented times. It never hurts to know someone just a little bit better and know what's going on in their lives.
Very powerful. And we're not even at our final moment of the inspirational moment of the interview.
No, I know. But like I said, I love it. Yeah, but it is what I'm passionate about. I'm passionate about my family. Like, my family is my heart. Like those 3 women in my life, very passionate about them. I'm a little bit of a helicopter parent, so I'm always watching over my kids when I should probably let them do their thing. But I also feel it's important to give back. Like, I'm starting to coach basketball now. I'm coaching my daughter's 7-year-old basketball team now. Congrats. And I am excited. Like, this is going to be fun that I get to give back after coaching basketball for numerous years. And then I get to spend extra time with my daughter. So, like I said, again, it's people. It gives me the opportunity to work with young children. And if I can pass something on to them, whether it be skill wise or the ability to pass on knowledge, I'm good. Like, I'm good. So I think it always comes back to the same thing as people. That's what I'm very passionate about.
Now we are coming to the end of this show and the minute signature. So is there anything that you want to share with us?
I guess what I would say is there's no substitute for hard work. You're going to find pitfalls. Things are going to happen that you're not going to be expected. Be ready to take that on, but do it with a smile. If I can say anything, sometimes work, it's not fun. It sucks. But if you can try and put a positive spin on it and get through it and get through the day and understand your purpose for doing this every day, then you'll be good. And I guess I would close off with my favorite quote, and it's in the signature in my email, is no pressure, no diamonds. If you can handle the pressure, you will become a diamond.
This is like I would love to, like I always like to say, this is fire. No, but seriously, Del, we're not gonna take too much of your time, but thank you very much. I think we definitely feel your passion, how passionate you are, as much as your professional and personal life, the entrance you have into with people, and I think you'll be able definitely to touch people out there. So thank you for thank you for sharing.
Awesome. Thank you guys for having me. And, unfortunately I got that gift of gab, so I could have kept on going, but no, honestly guys, I think what you guys are doing is awesome. And giving people a platform to get their stories out there. So, congratulations to you guys, and I wish you guys nothing but the best.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Max, always a pleasure.
Pleasure.
So I'd like to thank everybody that's out there listening to us, your time, taking the time to listen to us. We're very happy and grateful. So you can follow us on our different platforms, LinkedIn, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, and
Twitter.
And Twitter. You can also follow our hashtag 23+1 podcast. It's always a pleasure, and can't wait to share our next episode next week. So thank you and see you soon.